Hey everybody, it's the Walrus. I didn't announce that I was going live. Um, I just decided to do it. Kind of a spur of the moment thing. I'm here on front porch, and you might be able to hear the rain in the background. It's raining here in Indiana, much needed rain. Um, so the title of this is "Tough Times Ahead." Um, as some of you know, if you've been watching me for a while, my son Chandler, he's he has a couple of medical conditions that cause him to have quite a bit of distress. He he has cyclical vomiting syndrome and a Chiari malformation. Now, what that means is when he was born and he was very premature, that he his skull didn't close all the way, and part of his brain kind of sags a little bit toward the base of his skull. And that causes him to have horrendous migraines and dizziness and all kinds of bad stuff. We've been able to control it with CBD oil and medication and things, but lately he's been having a flare up again. Uh, it's back, and he occasionally has random pains all over his body, pain that he can't explain or can't control, and it gets him down. He tries to go to school. He really wants to go to school, but he'll go for a day, and then he'll be home for 4 or 5 days after that because it just takes everything out of him. And the CBD oil helps with the pain and helps with the migraines, but it's not enough. Um, so we've been to Riley Hospital multiple times. We've been to Cincinnati Children's Hospital a couple of times. And, we're not getting any answers. They're like, we don't know what to do anymore. They want to put him on pharmaceuticals, but that would probably cause him to have to be on them for long periods of time, and that's something that I'm not really willing to do because I've seen what those addictive drugs can do to people if they're taken long term. And we have family members who deal with addictions, and that's just not something that I want to get started at him at 14 years old. So, our next step is to go to the Mayo Clinic, um, which is not very close to us. There's one in Minnesota, and there's one in Jacksonville, Florida, both of which are about, I don't know, 10 hours away from us. So that's going to be interesting. And yes, that's true. Chandler is struggling again, big time. Uh, White Knight, I think that's Bryce. um, he's he's been home. He went to school one day this week, and he's been home ever since, and vomiting and in pain. And he hides it well. He doesn't want people to know how much he struggles, but Tommy, yeah, he doesn't want people to know how much it hurts. So he just kind of puts up with it and goes along because he wants to do all the fun stuff in life. You know, he wants to stay up and play video games and things, but then he gets so worn out that he just crashes and can't do anything for a couple of days. So we're going to be heading to the Mayo Clinic. I have to talk to my boss, see what kind of time off I can get, and we're just trying to get answers as far as what what's going on. Why is he in constant pain? And why does he vomit 100 or 30 times a day? Because he does. Anything he eats or drinks, he vomits. He used to have a feeding tube in to just keep him hydrated and keep nutrition inside of him. But yeah, that's where we are. Um, so sorry I haven't been posting a lot of stuff lately. I've been jumping on people's live streams just to kind of boost my own mood. But I'll be making some more gardening videos and things. Mother Nature, yes, they did do a spinal tap, and it was inconclusive. He had heightened tryptase levels, which kind of explains the red blotchiness in his skin. And I know you're not trying to be nosy, Mother Nature. I love you to death. I love your live streams. I love talking to you, and you got your head in the right place as far as what people need to be healed. Um, but that's not legal here in our state, so we stick to CBD. And um, the CBD helps, but I don't know if the absorption rate is high enough for him to for it to be as effective as it could be. Um, and it's expensive, and it's not covered by insurance. So there's that. We probably spend $100 a week in CBD oil and CBD products, and that's kind of what's going down. So yeah, that's what I'm up against. The school, and this is the reason why I'm kind of really upset, is the school is pushing to have him be homebound to do online schooling because he's been in school for 3 weeks and he's missed 10 days out of 3 weeks of school because of all this. So they're pushing for him to be doing online schooling, and I think that's not the best choice for him. He loves his friends. He's such a social kid, and really just wants to be with his friends. He had to miss so much school last year, and he missed the time he had with his friends. So, it's going to kind of be a rough time if he's not allowed to be seeing them and things. When he does go to school, like a couple days a week, he loves it, and he loves being with his peers. And he had to give up basketball. He had to give up soccer because that amount of exercise, that amount of energy exertion just wiped him out, and he couldn't do it. So now it's just video games, Fortnite, and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, Tommy, I agree. He loves hanging out with his friends, but we're gonna fight it. We're gonna fight it so that we're gonna try to keep him in school as much as we can. But they're really pushing because he's not there often. Um, yeah, he loves fishing too, Rob. You're right. He doesn't even do that much anymore. I mean, if you noticed, he's not been in the last few videos. Um, yeah, it's kind of odd, the things that he really loved doing, he doesn't do right now because it hurts. So, but we're just going to keep plugging along. My wife and I are, because everybody else is throwing their hands up and we don't know. And they don't know what to do next. So, we did get some CBD lotion, some muscle rub to put on his back, and hopefully that's where he experiences the most pain, is in his back. So we're going to rub that on and hopefully get some relief for him there. But with the Chiari, that causes the dizziness and things too, so it's kind of just a mixed bag. And yes, Mother Nature, he's been tested for allergies. He's allergic to a couple of types of medication, but that, and caterpillars, all crazy things. But we keep him away from all that kind of stuff, and that's pretty much what we're doing. Wish this was a happy, lively live stream like I'm used to doing my videos, being all joyful and stuff, but today was just kind of rough for me. And he's not allergic to gluten. We actually, my cousins own a gluten-free bakery, and so we go there a lot to eat because, we're just, at this point, anything we're trying, to figure this thing out. We've had him tested for so many different allergens, and that's about it. Thanks, Mother Nature. I appreciate it. I will send you an email here in a little while, but just wanted to hop on here with my dog. This is San San. He's my lover. Yeah. My wife's not home from work yet, so we're just kind of chilling on the front porch. Chandler's in bed. He's been in bed since what 3 o'clock to 3:30 Tuesday afternoon. He only gets up to go to the bathroom and to get a bite of food occasionally, which just comes right back up. So good times in the Ridge household. And I don't know if they've tested for spinal meningitis, but when they did the spinal tap, I think they did. We've had so many tests run. It's just ridiculous. Thank you. Sansan is adorable. Look at that face. Look at that ponum. Yes, he's just a good boy. Are you a good boy? Yeah, you're a good boy? Yes, you are. He just likes to sit here right next to me and chill on the porch. Listen to the rain and the crickets, apparently. But, yeah, we just had a storm roll through, and thankfully it's gone now. But my plants needed the water. And in case you don't know what I grow, here we go. Peppers. Lots of them. Peppers, peppers, peppers. The hotter the better. And got a couple of tomatoes and sweet potatoes over there, but they're not doing so hot. But yeah, so that's what's down. Didn't rain. I try my best to be a good dad. I have to get hard on him a couple of times, because he is a 14-year-old boy. And even though he has these illnesses and things, he still tries to get away with stuff. And I gotta keep an eye on him. But he's a good kid, though. I love him to death. And yep. So the live stream, me venting a little bit, getting it off my chest, and seeing if anybody out there has experienced similar things. But mostly just, sorry, it keeps buffering. It's probably the storm. We are still we're still getting rain out here, but it's not storming as bad as it was. Yeah, the rain's still coming. It's coming down again now. But hey, thanks, Batman. I'm gonna hold my head up. I believe in Christ, and He's my strength and my rock. And God is good all the time. He doesn't put us in any situation that He hasn't orchestrated or allowed. So I'm just sticking to the. It's all a part of His plan. It'll all work together for good eventually. We may never see it, but somehow it will work together for good. So just hanging on my front porch with my dog, and starting to feel like I'm in a better mood now. Thanks, Charles. I'm staying positive. It's just a little tough. We had beat it for about 6 months, and we're 6 months without having to be in the hospital, and that was a milestone. And then we just kind of fell off the fell off the tracks, I guess is the best way to put it. And when school started back up, I don't know if it was just too taxing or what, but just railroaded him. So, all right, well, on to happier topics. I'm sitting out here looking at all my plants, and my Sugar Rush peaches are doing very well. I've got several ripe ones, and there's more coming on every day. I've got this guy right here is a chocolate habanero, and I don't know if the camera got it well, but that's habanero. I've got several of those. I'm going to be making my own hot sauce for the first time. Thank you, Mother Nature. They look pretty shabby right now because I've been stressing them out, trying to get the peppers to get a little bit more heat by stressing them. So they haven't been watered in a couple days, and of course now they're getting rained on pretty hard. But my chocolate habaneros, I'm going to be making a hot sauce out of those. I just watched a couple of videos from Kangstar and a couple other people on how they make their hot sauces, and so I've got a good plan in mind. But it's going to be kind of a chocolate habanero serrano sauce. So it's going to be interesting. I've not made hot sauce ever before, but I'm going to give it a shot. And we'll see how that works out. Some of you guys might have to product test for me after I get a couple of jars made. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry I don't have any cool music in the background or anything, but I just got a wild hair up my butt and decided to do a live stream. Um, just waiting on my wife to get home, enjoying the rain, enjoying my time with my dog, and just sitting out here contemplating life. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to make a lot of it because I don't have this. These are all the plants I have. I have 4 plants, 3 Sugar Rush Peach. I've got 1 chocolate brain strain, but those aren't ripe yet. They are taking their sweet time getting ripe. And then I've got Shishitos and Serranos, but yeah, it's going to be mostly Serranos and habaneros in the sauce. I may throw a couple of not bell peppers, but banana peppers in there because my neighbor up the road. I'm glad you could chat with me too, Mother Nature. Thank you for coming on and being a part of this. Yeah, I'm hoping to throw some banana peppers in there that my neighbor up the road here grows. He's a container gardener and a full-time gardener too. He's retired, so he just does that all the time. Grows all of his food for his house fresh in his yard. And I get my bell peppers, my zucchini, my cucumbers for my hot pickles. Mr. Alice in Wonderland. The walrus and the carpenter. But yeah, I get all that stuff from him, and in turn I give him hotter peppers than he's allowed to grow by his wife. So, and my other neighbors right across the backyard, they grow tomatoes and they grow watermelon. So we all kind of trade stuff. I am going to do a couple of videos, probably today, tomorrow, sometime, where I will taste test the Sugar Rush Peach. I will taste test the jalapeno jelly that my neighbor down the road Telly made for me, and it looks delicious. She said you can just eat it out of the jar with a spoon. It's so good. So I can't wait to try that. And got a taste test more of my hot pickles and some of my hot chocolates. If you really like spicy food, I make hot chocolates. I make them from scratch myself, and I put powder blends that I either get from friends or I buy online and put those powder blends in my chocolates, and they're nice and spicy. Oh, heck yes. And so I have like, I don't know, 20 or 30 chocolates made up already, ready for people to taste test, but I have to figure out a way to mail them where they're not going to melt. Because the last ones I sent Charles melted before he picked them up in Texas there. So they just melted into one big glob. And they were cute little chocolates too. They're in shapes and stuff. And no, they all melted into a chocolate blob. All right, well, in the interest of time and everything, I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you guys for giving me little pep talks along the way and help me keep my head up. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah, Mother Nature, they're good, but they're hot. And if you've watched any of my videos where I eat hot things, you know I can tolerate some dry ice. That's not a bad idea. I don't know how to get a hold of dry ice, but I'll ask the post office what they recommend, how to ship something that might melt. And I can handle a lot of heat, and the ones that I made most recently are pretty dang hot. They didn't bring tears to my eyes like some other stuff I've eaten, like the Bambi Challenge, but they gave me the hiccups and a pretty good mouth burn, so it was good times. But thank you everybody for tuning in to my live, and I hope to do more of these in the future. I'll probably announce when I'm going to do them though, so more people can tune in, or if they don't have the bell notifications on. That's about it from the rainy state of Indiana right now. Make today the best that you can just by you being a part of it. And happy trails, everybody. Thank you for stopping by.